Luffy, Law, and Kid all have received an absolutely ridiculous bounty of 3 billion berries. Holy Usopp, what a perfectly juicy chapter to leave us with for the upcoming 4-week hunger streak.
And now we hungry, guys. We are hungry.
To chew on while we wait for the story to continue. And thank God we didn't actually end up rushing out of Wano within 2 chapters.
Yeah, no, that is a great thing.
Some more time to wrap things up properly.
Yes.
Let's begin right away with the new bounties we've got. Luffy, Law, and Kid all have received an absolutely ridiculous bounty of 3 billion berries, making all 3 of them more wanted than Blackbeard's. I think this bounty is a big surprise in a number of ways. I'm sure there are many people who expected it to be a lot higher than this, including me, honestly, but really, I love 3 billion for a number of reasons.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what are those reasons?
It makes a ton of sense, really. Putting Luffy above Blackbeard underlines really nicely how impactful his victory over Kaido really was. Yes, Blackbeard killing off Whitebeard and taking his devil fruit shook the world. No pun intended, actually. But Whitebeard was
to its core
and had already been fighting against the strongest fighters in the Marines. Luffy, meanwhile, was facing off against a significantly younger Kaido, still in his prime and known as the most powerful creature in the entire world. And yes, I know Kaido was also fighting against the Scabbards, Yamato, and 5 of the Supernova at once, but in the end, if we're really being honest, Luffy was really the one who did over 90% of
honestly,
damage.
Kaido was tanking all those things at the beginning.
So in other words,
you guys know
it. Higher than Teach makes sense. Now, you could argue that Luffy deserves a bounty higher than Kaido for taking him down. For example, instead of Kaido's 4 billion, the much quoted 5.6 billion. Gomu, in line with Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Mi, only we now know that there actually is no Gomu Gomu no Mi at all. So I think that this particular wordplay might well be off the table for now. The fact that taking down both Kaido and Big Mom did take a major team effort in the end, in my opinion, justifies a lower bounty than that. Again, just because Teach took out Whitebeard didn't mean that he got a 6 billion berry bounty afterwards.
That's true. Thank you, Ohara.
A higher bounty than his opponent because he took them out at full strength. Antagonists like Katakuri, for instance, started at full health against Luffy, so raising his bounty higher than theirs did make sense, at least from an outside perspective. I mean, Morgan and the government didn't really know what was going on in the mirror world after all. However, CP0 was reporting every last detail about the raid to the outside world. And so as a result, the bounty could be adapted a lot more precisely. On top of that, putting Luffy above Kaido's level would also have put him above Shanks, who has been a Yonko for much longer than Luffy.
That is true. That is true.
And so I would assume that you would have to repeatedly do crazy stuff like this to actually raise your bounty even higher, even as a Yonko. Who knows? Maybe Luffy will overtake Shanks after they have actually met in the story, which would make a lot more sense narratively as well, I think.
I think what's gonna happen is once it comes down to it, Luffy will have... There will be one more bounty increase in few years, okay guys? Let's not get confused about this particular issue. You know, there's gotta be one big jump for Luffy, the final jump prior to going into the final war. And that's going to be something that's gonna actually blow our minds. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be at like 6 billion berry at that point in time. However, we gotta get there first. We gotta see how everything turns out, how everything plays out. And you know, there's so many things still undiscovered in the One Piece world, guys. So we gotta be patient, because in time we will know.
And of course, the 3 billion berry bounty fits in incredibly nicely with Luffy's path so far. He went from 30 million, kind of rookie bounty, to a 300 million warlord level bounty, to 1.5 billion after defeating Katakuri. In other words, half a Yonko bounty, and now has officially entered the Yonko realm, completing
Yes,
the
he
3
is.
series with 3 billion berries on his flaming head. Then of course there's the question why both Kid and Law have gotten the same bounty as Luffy.
The answer to that
Rightfully,
is
you might say
easy.
that Luffy is the most powerful out of these 3. Now, I was honestly pretty surprised myself about this reveal as well. However, I really like it, honestly. Similarly to
Yeah.
Luffy, both Law and Kid deserve pretty much 90% of...
No! That's not it, man. The world government is trying to downplay Luffy. You know, they're trying to keep it under the reps that Luffy is the man that's gonna change the whole entire universe, the One Piece universe. You know, it's like, that's why they had such a big, you know, call at the start of the chapter, because first of all, his bounty poster has Gear 5 in it, his awakened form. Second of all, it still has the D in it, and they wanted it out.
the credit for
God.
taking down Big Mom. And I think that the world government in the end valued the act of taking down a Yonko here and not just power scale everyone. Instead of splitting Luffy's bounty and giving Law and Kid 1.5 billion berries each, they were looking at the alliance of these 3 pirate captains as a whole and want to see all 3 of them captured for the threat they now pose equally. It also really nicely and honestly unexpectedly sets up Law and Kid as true rivals to Luffy for finding the One Piece now. In a way, it suddenly gives them a lot more relevance for the remaining story than I would originally have suspected. Plus, it gives Luffy the chance to distinguish himself from the 2 even more in the future, which is a really important point too, I think, that I'm really pretty excited about.
Yeah.
Giving Luffy a mid-range Yonko bounty strongly suggests to me that we will see at least 1 more bounty poster for him at some point in the story, reaching the true pinnacle of the One Piece worlds. You have to remember that Luffy defeating the world government.
The final poster is, if I'm not mistaken, it goes like doubles, quadruples, triples. I mean, doubles, triples, doubles, triples, doubles, triples. You know, it's like, so his bounty could potentially be 9 billion. Okay, if we're being honest here right now, guys, it's going to be 9 billion. The next bounty, maybe 6. I don't know. See, that's why I don't do any speculation. I just watch videos.
Government will mean no more wanted posters for obvious reasons, and so I speculated before that Wano might well be the last increase we will see for all the Straw Hats. But no, with this number, it really looks like we'll get at least one more. Maybe after Elbaf, or maybe even after Luffy becomes the new Pirate King, just like Roger did. Now, in case you're still salty about Luffy having the same bounty as Kid and Law, I want to remind you that the world government is very much aware of Luffy being the strongest out of all these 3.
He knows!
Don't forget how much they really fear the return of Sun God Nika. And so I think they decided to not put that into his bounty, but instead gave Luffy one of the new 2 open spots among the 4 emperors. While Law and Kid, on the other hand, don't get that title. Luffy becoming a Yonko is what really distinguishes him from the other 2 now. And if you don't believe me, just look at Kid's reaction this chapter. He thinks exactly the same way. Now, of course, he's just joking, I think, when he says that he now has come for Luffy's head, but he very much understands that the government does see Luffy above him and Law. So overall, I do genuinely believe that the new
there's no way in hell
much perfect, especially with Luffy now being officially an emperor and a Yonko. I actually really enjoyed that we only got these 3 bounties and the new Yonko reveal this chapter. Don't worry,
I love Buggy, oh man.
Buggy. But yeah, the fact that all the Straw Hats have got new bounties, but we will only be getting those after the break is pretty dope, I think. Because I mean, that basically guarantees that we will have a banger chapter right away after the break.
I know, it's gonna be super exciting, guys.
50% breathing time, because I'm pretty sure that 1054 will at least be like 50% bounty posters. Now, sadly enough, that won't include my own wanted poster, even though my own bounty has just recently also been raised from 95 million, that would be nice, 59 million to 60 million after we hit 600,000 subscribers on the channel.
Guys, subscribe so he can keep on going up.
100 berries.
There's only one way to go, and that's
honestly,
up.
thank you so much for the support. It means the world, especially since we have been at war with this man here, Treble, who still is almost 40 million berries ahead of us.
Oh no.
But we're coming for you, Treble.
Yes,
we'll
he
show
is.
you who's boss in the end. Anyways,
yes,
what I
are.
once again found super interesting is how big news
the real
Morgan
winner,
is
guys,
once
the
again
real winner.
Disobeying the government censorship. Will that get me in trouble on YouTube for saying that? Or whatever. While he got the official bounties and the Yonko news from the Gorosei, he decided to print an image of Luffy in Gear 5 on his wanted poster, basically publishing Luffy's new godly appearance to the entire world. A photo that CP0, by the way, managed to take during the fight. I guess in an effort to not let Cylinder Guy's death not be in vain, maybe? Anyways, understandably, the Gorosei are furious about this leak.
Yeah,
the government has tried to erase the
pissed.
true nature of the Nika fruit from history for centuries, and now its awakened form will be seen in every single corner of the entire world. That is especially concerning because there are people out there who will know exactly what they're looking at. I'm thinking Shanks, Rayleigh, maybe also Blackbeard or Dragon.
Oh my god!
In other words, having some of the most powerful and dangerous people in the world find out that Joy Boy has finally returned will make things even more unstable for the government than things already
Oh my god, imagine
Actually,
the reactions
also
in
found
chapter
it hilarious that
1054.
apparently
Oh
the CP
no!
agents were taken out
That
by
has
Big
given me
Mom's
like
ship in
goosebumps even
particular.
thinking about
Hilarious
it now.
because they were
Oh my god.
completely useless and absent for the entirety of the raid, but also because it still makes me wonder whether Big Mom and Kaido might not have survived falling in a volcano somehow in the end. And even if they didn't, it also raises the question what the Big Mom pirates will do now that their leader has been taken out. The Beast pirates have all pretty much been decimated after the raid, especially with Green Bull's arrival. But the Big Mom pirates are basically still fully functional in full force. So will Katakuri becoming a captain? And how will he react to Big Mom just having...
But my thing about Katakuri now is, why didn't he intervene when the Jerma 66 siblings were decimating Whole Cake Island? Where is he? We saw the cover story. We saw it. You know, they just walked in there like it's nothing. Where is Katakuri? He's not with Big Mom and Wano, and he's not at Whole Cake Island. Where is he?
been defeated. Will he try to avenge her or join forces with Luffy maybe? For some reason, I haven't really thought about this before at all, but now I'm really super curious. Yeah, and speaking of Green,
I have a funny feeling he's going to
what the hell
join
just
forces
happened
with
there?
Luffy.
It seems like King and Queen tried to fight him and got completely decimated because Green Bull, or Aramaki as he's called, is an absolute monster. It turns out that he doesn't just use his plant powers for photosynthesis to survive, but instead he literally sucks the life force out of his opponents to heal himself. This devil fruit, whatever it exactly is, might be one of the, if not the, most terrifying power I've honestly seen in the entirety of the story. Like, just imagine what you could do with this. You could build entire cities if you wanted to. It's basically the OnePiece version of Hashirama, if you like.
Okay,
His abilities are basically perfect to take out large amounts of medium-strong opponents all at once. An incredibly precise yet wide-range attack. And on top of that, he also seems to be a swordsman, just like Isho, carrying what looks to be a black blade, if I'm not mistaken. So this once again makes me wonder, of course, if he's not actually someone from Wano. Now, something else that might hint towards that is his real-life inspiration that people on the internet were once again pretty quick to find out. As you probably know, all admirals in the story are inspired by Japanese actors. And Green Bull is no exception. He's the spitting image of Yoshio Harada, a super famous Japanese actor who was especially known for two types of roles, rebels and samurai, sometimes both. We can see the rebel in him for constantly disobeying Akaino's orders, and the samurai once again might hint at a connection to Wano that I do really would like to see for some reason. Now, I originally speculated that he might actually be a good guy who, similarly to Aokiji or maybe Fujitora, Ohara will actually sympathize with Luffy's cause. However, after seeing just how brutal he is and how good he finds Akaino's extreme way of doing things, I'm not so sure anymore, honestly.
Look at this, Greenville is the kind of character he is going to literally go, find out, and get, you know, he's gotta be one of those people that's gonna try to catch those heads, and he's gotta catch them. Alright, he's gotta catch them, get his butt whooped, and then, you know, move on with the story like a whiny crybaby.
He literally says he's coming for Luffy's head. Now, he might still turn out to be a good guy, or Zoro's father, but it doesn't really seem like it. Though, honestly, he can be both Zoro's father and
He
a
could be
bad guy at the same time,
bipolar.
I have a lot more thoughts about Green Bull, but I'll save all of that for a whole video on him during the break.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we have the major...
See, that's why you should guys subscribe to Ohara. He puts out great videos and amazing content, alright? He is one of the best YouTube One Piece creators out there, okay? So definitely go and subscribe to his channel after this video and like his videos and follow him. He is amazing, great, and smart. Not like me. I'm dumb.
Major celebration going on in the flower capital, basically seeing the start of the big banquet we've all been waiting for. The best thing about this really is how it shows us just how much Luffy has grown throughout Wano and the New World really, while still being the very same person at heart that we first fell in love with. He doesn't want to take away from Momo's big moment, and he sees all the people of Wano eating and drinking for free as much as they like. Basically a mini version of his dream that we got just revealed a few chapters ago. A world where all his friends can eat and drink as much as they like. I don't know about you, but to me it just seems like becoming a Yonko and beating Kaido has made Luffy a little bit wiser, as weird as it may sound in regards to Luffy. But for some crazy
you put it that
reason,
way,
there
it does
is
seem that way.
even more to this chapter, and it's so short also. The heck? Because in the secret basement with the dolls, that sounds weird, that we already had seen before, Robin, who I'm happy to see has not been captured by anyone yet, has a conversation with Hitetsu, one of the first characters we actually ever met in Wano. Well, it turns out that this man is actually Kozuki Sukiyaki, Oden's father, who we all had thought to be dead for a long time. This is such an interesting reveal because it opens up so many questions.
Yeah.
But since we barely get any answers here, I want to move on for the moment and talk about Pluton. Robin, what the heck? Like, how did you know about Pluton being in Wano since Alabasta and never thought about mentioning it at least once? Not only does this once again underline the fact that Alabasta seems to have been allied with the Ancient Kingdom in some way or form, in this case specifically Wano, but it also begs the very important question: what is Pluton really? Is it a giant battleship that is hidden somewhere in Wano?
Oh, spacebar! I think Pluton is Momo. That's my honest opinion. And the ship that he controls, think about it, guys. What could be considered a ship? What could be considered a ship? A moving object on the ocean. Words are hard today, guys. Think about it. Obviously, Zunisha. Zunisha is a massive, gigantic ship that has been shown to have the power to take out, quite literally, islands. Why are people not making the 1 and 2 connections? You know, they're saying the Momo's the other ancient weapon. Why not Pluton? That's the most consensual thing I can even think of. Pluton is Momo.
Or is it literally Momonosuke, just how it was Shirahoshi on Fish Island?
Exactly.
I really do feel like I have a hunch that we might be getting some more lore on the ancient weapons in the story quite soon with this reveal. But now let's move on to my personal, and I guess your personal highlight of the entire chapter. This right here. Who would have thought that the cover of volume 25 would foreshadow the future 4 Emperors of the Sea for the 25th anniversary of One Piece? Like,
What?
really, Oda-sensei? Just how much did you actually plan the story in advance? Is this an actual coincidence? I really can't tell anymore at this point. Well, Buggy becoming an Emperor of the Sea. Buggy becoming an Emperor of the Sea is just the biggest plot twist ever. It just throws up so many questions, like, how did that happen? Is Buggy actually just lucky all through the way, or is he actually a secret mastermind that has been pretending all along? Was Buggy the pirate that Shanks was talking about to the Gorosei to distract him from Luffy? I want to take my time and discuss this in a whole video, but for now, if you really want to understand
one more
how
reason
the
to
world
follow
government
him.
thinks and functions and how the Gorosei have ruled the world, you should really not miss out on this video right here.
Okay, guys, that was a great video. I love it. I love it so much. Make sure you guys to like it and subscribe to Ohara. All right, the big